we're going to be going live right here. We're live right now on YouTube as well as on TikTok, and the subject for today's video is really going to be how to fund your trading account. I get a lot of questions in regards to that. Um, and I've been watching a few videos on YouTube, and as a matter of fact, I had gave a response to a young lady that posted up a video saying, "Well, how do I fund my trading account?" Because she sees all of these people online that are trading with tens of thousands of dollars, and they're telling them and they're saying online that it's extremely easy to get funding to open up an account to fund their investment account. And for the most parts, that's just how can I put this? It's straight up just a lie. You know, there's a couple different types of people. There's a couple different types of ways people fund their brokerage account when they're first starting off. But we're not talking about trust fund babies or you know the influencers whose parents basically they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and their parents have a lot of money, and therefore they take their monthly allowance and invest in the stock market. They hit it big, and then they go from there. There are some avenues where you can actually fund your account. So, for example, if you were to sign up to a certain platforms, and I'm not going to name any of them because I'm not sponsoring any of them, but there are some platforms, once you build up a certain amount of history as far as trading history, they may give you some money so you can trade with maybe 100,000 or 50,000 or even a half a million to $1 million. But if you're a new trader, you're somebody new to trading, or you're somebody who's really interested in trading, you don't have that trading history. You don't have that history of making profitable trades. And you're like, I want to get started in trading, but I just need to figure out how. The number one thing I would tell you want to do first of all, and it's not because not because I have my own course on Udemy on teaching people how to trade, but the number one thing I would tell you is learn how to trade from a professional. All right. And there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of influencers out there that are saying, you know, they'll teach you how to trade. They'll show you all of these tricks and these strategies. And don't fall for the game, because if somebody has to show you Lamborghinis and big mansions to say they're making that much money, but they can spend that much time on social media promoting themselves and trying to get you to buy a product or a service, more than likely they're making their living off of you guys buying their products and their services. So you want to be very careful of that. And you want to kind of like get into the mindset of, if you want to start trading, you want to start off small. And here's one of the things that I normally tell people to do. All right. If you want to start off trading, and I'm talking about the average Joe, the person who's working a 9 to 5, or somebody's fresh out of high school or still in high school, and they're just trying to figure out how to trade. First thing I would recommend anybody do, you have Udemy as well as Skillshare, right? Now, this is my course over here. My course is a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to go show you guys some courses that you can get for like $13, $15. And these courses are phenomenal, right? Like my course, I have about 888 students that have signed up so far. It's $99. You get to learn all of the basics. Now, I have about an hour and a half of video time that you have to watch, and they teach you just the basics. Like if you go to Udemy and you look at that, you'll see all of the things that are included in the course: basic knowledge, recommended tools and resources that I always tell people that they would need for stock screeners, recommended brokers, charting tools and softwares, news feeds, how to set up your chart. And when I say how to set up your chart, you know, your chart, how to set up your chart with all of this information right here, as far as support, resistance, your moving averages, your RSI, ATR, so this way you can easily tell if a stock is in the uptrend or downtrend. We also teach you about volume, and then we show you how to place trades. There are several different types of trades. There's like what they call a market trade. A market trade is really just if you're just going to buy the stock at the price that is currently listed. Then you have your limit orders. Your limit orders are basically where you're saying, hey, I don't want to buy the stock until it reaches at a certain price, and then I want to buy it. You can short a stock saying you want to make money when the stock is going down. not only do you have stock tradings, but you also have options and different things like that. But we're not going to get into that right now, because let me show you what you can do here on Udemy. If you go to Udemy right now, right, and I'm not just going to promote my course, but I'm going to promote you some, I'm going to show you some other things that you can do. Because, if you just go into Udemy, in the search section, you just type in stock trading, right? Now, Udemy is one of the world's largest online learning platforms, right? So you go on Udemy and you just type in stock trading. When you type in stock trading here on Udemy, you're going to see a whole list of all these different courses that's going to pop up for different things for trading stocks. Like you see here, mine is highly rated. It's $99. Over here, this particular course, I actually took this course when I was building up my course so I can understand how they did the structure, because this is the first course I put on Udemy. But this course over here is phenomenal. This gentleman over here, he has a YouTube channel. He has his own firm, brokerage firm. So he actually, like I was talking about it earlier, he actually goes on, like, if you were to trade and then you were to take your, email him your trading performance and say, hey, look, I've been trading for, 3-4 years, and here's my win to loss ratio and different things like that. He would actually say, okay, well, come and work for my firm. He's based out of Toronto. But this guy is phenomenal, and this course is phenomenal. Now, I'm not logged in right here, but this course right now, as you see, is saying $149. But, let's see if we go in there, because, when you go into Udemy, they typically have some really good like discounts and different things like that. So right now, this course is not discounted, right? But sometimes, like, I remember when I took this course, it was only like $13, $13 when I took the course. And sometimes you go on there and you say, well, if I take the course and the course is only $13, like how much information could you get? But a course like this, for example, if you were to set up with Udemy and you pay there $14 a month, and by the way, this is not a promotional plan. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. But this gentleman over here, he has over 274,000 people that has taken his course. All right. Um, Ratings are phenomenal. The course is phenomenal. And I am a Udemy instructor, and I'm telling you that I took this course at one point just to, and I learned some new things as well. This guy has a lot of great information. Let's see here. If we go into another course here, and if you stroll down, let's see if there's any of them that are a little bit cheaper that they have right now on sale. Okay, I guess because I'm not logged in, they're not showing any of them at discounted prices. But let's say, for example, you were to just like log in for the first time, you're going to find some pretty cheap courses on here. And one of the things I would tell you is, when you're looking at these courses, the great thing about these on Udemy is that you can actually preview them. You can actually just like click on a course. And when you click on the course, like here, you can just press the play button here, and you can see a preview of what the course is, see if you like the feel for the person. You don't want to take any courses that have AI, that have like, the AI voiceovers or anything else like that. And then you got to look at the last time that these courses were updated. Like this one was updated in 2021, right? So this course is pretty old, and that lets you know that this gentleman, he posted up the course and he hasn't updated it with anything new since then. So this is probably not somebody who's really dedicated to it, all right? And like I said, the key difference between any of these courses that you see here and the course that I offer on Udemy is the simple fact that you get direct access to me. For 3 months, you can call me on WhatsApp. You can text me on WhatsApp. You'll get access to my YouTube channel live. So at 8 o'clock, I go live with my students primarily. But this is one of the key things you want to do, because it never surprises me how some people, and a lot of the students that took in my course, they tell me the exact same. They did this exact same thing, and at one point in time, I did it. Like, we'll take $300, $400, $500 or even $1,000, and we'll start investing in the stock market. We haven't got any professional help. We watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and then we started investing our money. And guess what happens? We lose. We lose a lot of money, and it's because we're not taking it seriously. I mean, think about this. If you're going to go ahead and if you're going to spend, let's see if I can do a good analogy here. If you're going to spend $5,000 on a car, right? And that's not a lot of money for a car. But if you bought a car and you have no experience driving, are you going to get behind the wheel and jump on the highway? You're not going to do it. You're going to say, I need to learn how to drive first before I get on the highway. And a lot of times we'll take a driving class and we'll drive on the lower roads, but we'll never get on the highway for the first 6 months or even a year or so because we don't feel comfortable doing it. So I don't understand, how is it that people go to work every day, bust their behinds, make money, and then they start trading or investing money into the stock market without taking a proper course? If you're going to invest $1,000, take 100 of it and sign up for one of these courses. Okay, like I said, I would recommend, for a beginner, I would recommend the complete fundamental stock trading course. That this gentleman, great class. I would most definitely recommend my class. $99, you get access to me, highly rated, highest rated. um, uh, I would also, so he has a couple other courses on here as well, but this one is a really good one because it kind of covers everything. Those are the ones that I've taken, the courses that I've taken. I haven't taken other courses by some of these other professors, but what I would recommend that you do is look at when it was updated, watch some of the preview videos, and go from there. Like I said, my course is only 1 hour and 15 minutes of video time. I think this one over here is like well over like 20 hours. Let me see here. Let's scroll in here and let's see how much time of video is in this one. Okay, so with this course, you have over 9 hours of video. Okay, 9.5 hours of video time that you're going to be watching. And his course covers everything, orders. I mean, you can see he goes deep into detail about a lot of stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of like this class. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about today is the psychology of trading. All right. So for those of you who are just kind of like right now tuning in, the the name of the course is How to Fund Your Trading Account. So as an average Joe, which is like a regular American or just a regular person working a 9 to 5, you're never going to be really able to start off with 10,000 or 100,000 like some you see some of these influencers doing online. Most of them are trust fund babies. The second thing is, some people get loans for it, but I would never recommend that you invest that kind of money until you take a proper class and get educated on how to trade. And then from there, if once you feel comfortable on how to trade, I guarantee you, if you have to go like what I did, when I remember when I went to trade, I went and I got a second job. I got a second job and I dedicated all that money that I had to learning how to trade, because if you feel really comfortable with what you're doing, you get the knowledge, you get the skills, you get taught the skills, the knowledge that you need, and then you say, well, I know how much money I can make, I know how successful I can make this, but you don't have the capital. When you think about it, you say, well, I can go get a second job and bring in an extra 500 to an extra $1,500 a month on a second part-time job, and with that $1,500 as starting capital, I could probably make that money back in a month or two. You know, it's like it's not a big decision to make. You don't look at it like, oh my gosh, all the work. You're gonna be like, damn, I'm gonna get that starting money and I can get started. So one of the simplest ways to fund your account is just get a second job and dedicate that money to that. I'm not gonna tell you go out there and get a loan or do something crazy. But that's one of the easiest ways. But before you invest any money, and I know a lot of people who invested money. I have over 800 students, and out of the 800 students, I would probably say more than 51% of them have already lost well over $5,000 in the stock market over the past 3 to 4 years that they've been trading, because they get into it because somebody told them, oh, buy this stock. They open up a Robinhood account and they think it's as simple as buying a stock and then just taking the money and making it. And they're not realizing there's a lot more to it. A great example of what I'm talking about here would be, okay, like what happened today, right? Earlier today, well, not earlier today. Okay, last week we had the Trump administration that said on the first, everybody needs to come to the table, have a deal. They don't need to sign a deal, but they need to have a proposal. And then when the first came out, and I said this on my live, if you guys go back and watch any of my other lives that I have on my YouTube channel, or you look at any of my shorts that I have on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, you'll hear me talking about that earlier, like around the last week of July. I said I'm not trading from the 25th. I believe it was from the 25th all the way till the first. I said I'm not trading anything because the market is going to be really chaotic, which it was. Now on the Friday, last week Friday, which was the first, the market just completely tanked. It crashed, right? And then I came back and I said, well, guys, this Thursday, which is today, Trump is going to implement the tariffs on any country that did not come to the table on the first. And because I knew that, I did not trade. And of course, today the market's down, you know, and a lot of people lost money today. And the reason for that is because they're only looking at the charts and they're not paying attention to the fundamentals. So you'll always hear me say this in every single one of my lives. If you want to be a successful trader or you do want to trade, you have to be up on the news. You have to know what's going on in the news. You have to know what's happening geopolitically. You may not like the guy, you may not care for him or whatever the case may be, but you have to pay attention to what he's saying because whatever he says, the other major investors, institutional investors, professional traders, they're going to be paying attention at CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. They're going to be paying attention to what Trump is saying, what his administration is saying, and then they're going to be making decisions based off of that. So you have to be up to date on the news and you have to be up to date on what's happening around you geopolitically. Otherwise you will always be losing money. you know, the month of July and August, most of the second quarterly earnings reports came out. A lot of people don't know that. If you're a trader and you did not know that the month of July and August was the time to report for the second quarterly earnings, then why are you trading? Why are you putting your money into the market? Because during that time, there are companies that are trading that are releasing their earnings report, and you're looking at your technicals and you're like, oh wow, everything looks so good, and then you're going to go trade the stock. But then when you go and trade it, the earnings reports come out and you're just like, you're screwed. And you're sitting there like, what the hell happened? What happened was you did not realize, like, here, you see this E on this particular chart? That's basically letting us know the earnings report for this stock came out today, right? So somebody could have been in the trade with this stock and thinking, oh, well, the stock looked like it's about to go ahead and go down. It went up a little bit. This earnings report did not really affect it. This may have been an after hours. This one came out, looked like after hours. Yeah, this one came out, looked like after hours earnings report. But look at this, the earnings report. Everything in here is red. Let's take a look and see what it looks like tomorrow. Tomorrow, is it going to drop or is it going to go up? Because it actually closed up higher than it was, even though everything was in the red, right? And that just came out today. So when you're trading, are you buying stocks and are you paying attention to see, is there an earnings report coming out? Is there any major news coming out? Take, for example, we're using TradingView right now. And this is one of the reasons why I use it, because I don't have to be flipping between there and my news feed. Here you have a lightning bar, right? And this lightning bar lets you know anything that's coming out that's related to this stock or this particular sector, which is going to be a commercial service sector, right? So whenever you're trading, you have to pay attention before you buy that stock. You want to see what's going on. If you guys are just using, if any of you guys are just using Robinhood, then before you buy a stock for Robinhood, do a quick Google search and just hit news, and then see if there's anything major coming out with that particular company. Let me see here if we can pull something up here. And this is just like me being an instructor. This is why I'm kind of like, I sound a little frustrated because I constantly hear a lot of my students get back to me like, I lost money. I was like, did you check to see what news was coming out? Before you bought the stock, did you see if there was an earnings report? Did you see if there's anything that major happened with any of the CEOs or anybody else like that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, then you lost money. It's your fault. Don't get mad at the system. Get mad at yourself for just not following the proper steps and procedures. So we have what they call investing.com, right? So you have investing.com. You can sign up for it for free. You can sign up for a free account. You can use it without necessarily signing up. But if you come here to investing.com and you add a particular stock to your portfolio, matter of fact, I'm not even going to go that complicated because some of you guys may be new traders, but you just come in here and you just type in the name of the stock for the company, right? And let's say, like right here, we just have GE that popped up. If you just type that in, all of the information is going to pop up for GE. You're going to be able to see their charts. You're going to be able to see the same things that you can see on TradingView. And also, guys, you can actually get access to TradingView just setting up an account, which is a free account with TradingView. And you don't necessarily have to get a paid account like I do, like I have. You can just sign up, use the free account, and you still get access to a lot of those things, like as far as the news feeds and everything. The only difference is that the pricing is not going to be live. It's not going to be live and up to date. So here you can see when you go in here with GE, if you go to investing.com, you'll see the news, you see technicals, you see you see the technical analysis, you see their financials, you see what other I can never say that word correct. analysis are saying, what other people are saying in regards to it, like the professionals. I can never use that, say that word. I get tongue tied. There's certain words I can't say, people. I'm sorry, like wrestling. I can't say the W rat. I say wassailing. So there's certain things you just can't do. I can't say. All right. So there's a lot of information that you can get on investing.com. And if you don't, and if that looks a little too crazy, you can just simply go over to Yahoo, and Yahoo is free. And if you want to, you can just set up a Yahoo account, a Yahoo account. And once you do that, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Financing is going to be right there. And you just go in and you just look at Yahoo Financing, for example, right here. And you can get a lot of information in regards to a lot of these a lot of different stocks or anything that's happening here. There's a lot of great information on Yahoo. You have CNNBC, NBC, CNN, CNBC, NBC. You can actually go there and you can see what's going on with the stocks, any kind of stocks before you buy them. I just think that it's a huge waste when I see individuals taking money, investing into the stock market, and thinking that they can trade without being up to date on the news. This is like Yahoo has their own live. You can actually sign up for that, and you can watch things live on Yahoo, and they get live information like CNBC. And they're constantly updating you on what's going on with Yahoo financing. Another thing that I want a lot of people to understand, that I think a lot of traders did not realize this, and I did not realize this. When you have a Robinhood account, your information is not live, up to date. Your prices are not live. Okay, the information that you get from Yahoo, from Robinhood, the information that you get from E-Traders, even the information that you get from TradingView, all that information is normally delayed by anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. Okay. If you want to have access to live information, you actually have to pay for it. So if you're registered with somebody like E-Traders, E-Traders, uh, I think, let's see here, Interactive Traders, any one of these traders, and you want to get live information, you literally have to pay for that. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Okay. Even with Yahoo, Google, when you go there and you Google a price, even on investing.com, all that information is delayed. If you want to have up-to-date live information, you have to pay for that. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right here. Let's see if I can pull that up easily. I haven't been there in a while. Let's go to profiles, billing, settings, home. Let's see here. Products. Okay, let's go to products over here. Screeners, pricing, filters. Let's see. I'm going to try to show you guys this right here. I'm trying to because I'm doing this live, I'm trying not to go into any screens that might have like personal information, any of my personal information or information in regards to, let's go to pricing. I think it might be over here. Okay. So this is kind of like my current plan. I used to be with this plan over here, but I ended up changing it. So let's see here. Let's go with more. Okay, let's go with markets. I think this is where did I get it at last time? I think I may. Just trying to be a little bit careful here. Let's go over to billing and subscriptions. Yeah. So let's go over here to subscriptions. Okay, so subscriptions, right? So over here, you see where it says real-time data. Okay, if I want to, I have to pay in order to get this real-time data. Okay, and you notice I have two sets of real-time datas. If I don't pay for this, all of the information on my charts that I'm seeing is going to be delayed information. So, and I'm paying I'm paying 90, I'm paying basically $10 here for live data here and $7 for this live information. Now, just to see what data is included in here, let me just kind of show you guys. So you have the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ ARC. So remember these stocks, and this is the US bundle right here for the stock market, for the US bundle, OTC and everything else like that, because not all stocks are listed on one market. So a lot of times people hear, when you hear people say, oh, I'm trading the market is basically a combination of NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and a few others. So in order for me to get access to those live data feeds, this is what I'm paying every month. Okay. Now, the second subscription that I have over here is going to be the CME group. And this particular one over here, let's see here, let's pull that up. Okay. Uh, these are some of the stocks that these are some of the markets that I have access to, which is your futures, crypto, energies, and different things like that, and precious metals. Because and also Forex as well, because I used to trade Forex. I don't trade it as much. I just closed my Forex account last week because I'm finding I make more money with the options and regular stock trading than with the Forex. I don't like I don't like the idea of leveraging my accounts. So I'm not a big fan of like Forex or anything else like that. But just to kind of let you know, when you're trading, if you're brand new to trading and I'm showing you something, you're just like, holy shit, you're trying to tell me the information I get from my professional broker, even if I'm using like Ninja Trading or whatever other platforms they have out there, it's not up to date. Yes, I'm telling you that information is not live, up to date information. You have to pay for that. Okay. You have to pay for that from your broker. So if you're just learning this, stop trading, stop wasting your god dang money, and and take one of these courses on Udemy. Whether, like I said, whether it's my course, which is here, highest rated course, Stock Trading Simple Beginner Guide by Adley Telfort, or any one of these other courses, go ahead and take a course, learn, because we teach you about all this stuff here, so you can know, what you're doing, and you're not spending time wasting all your money. Another reason why I like to use TradingView is going to be, let me show you here. Because after you take the course, when you take any one of these courses, they normally tell you about paper trading, how to trade using fake money and different things like that. So let's pull this up over here, right? And let's make this just a little bit larger. So these are a list of all of the different brokers that you can actually trade. And when you trade with any one of these brokers, you can actually link their accounts to your TradingView account. So you can actually trade right within TradingView. That's easy. It's great if you're just like somebody who don't have that much time. But because I have my setup here and I'm typically at the office as I'm trading a lot, and because I do some traveling, I actually trade. I keep my charting and my trading software a little bit. I keep them separate, just for security reasons, as well. Because when I do travel internationally, sometimes like I've had some of my accounts hacked before when I travel internationally, so I try to keep everything separate. Now, I'll also tell you guys something that's really cool and really interesting. If you actually bank with Chase Bank, if you bank with Chase, Chase has a trading, and you can actually set up for it. I forgot, it's called Direct Trade. Now, the reason why I like Chase trading with my Chase account is because no matter what these brokers are, so let's say for example with one of these brokers you have $500 in there, right, and you invest $500 into the market, and a day later you sold the stock, and you sold the stock at like 2 days later you sold the stock at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you made a $200 profit. So now you have $700 available. Guess what? You're not going to be able to use that money right away. With most of these traders, you're going to have to wait for till the end of the day, until the next day, for that money to be available. You have to, what they call, letting the money settle. But the great thing is, if you trade with somebody like Chase, if you guys have a Chase account, for those of you here in America, and you open up one of those trading accounts, which is called Chase Direct Invest, Self Invest, you can buy a stock today, sell it, and be able to use that money the same day. Okay. The reason for that is because Chase knows how much money you have. That's money that's actually sitting in your bank account. So the broker's not sitting there like, is this money real? Chase knows that the money's real, and they know that the money's there. So you don't have to wait till the next day for the account to settle. You can actually buy a stock. 2 days later, you sell it and use that same money, including your profits, the same day, to actually go ahead and buy more stocks and make another trade or more investments. Um, yeah, but this here, you have a paper trading account, so you can actually open up a paper trading account and do a practice trading, with all of these, with with TradingView, but with all of these brokers, they actually give you access to trade directly on TradingView. Uh, you know, I can't stress it enough. And also, every single one of these brokers here, you're gonna have to pay for live feed information. If you don't pay for live feed information, your information is not gonna be live. And this is why sometimes you might buy a stock, and when you buy the stock and then you see the stock goes in the opposite direction, you're like, how the hell did I lose this money? You lost that money because you're trading on late information, late data. You know how much things can happen in 5 minutes. So you're getting information 5 minutes, 15 minutes late, depending on your broker. you know you're trading. You're trading, you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy this to the price here, but everybody's already done moved on, and 15 minutes later you're like, okay, why is it going in the opposite direction? Oh, also, here's something very interesting that happened with me. So when you're trading with late information, right, I want you guys to understand how damaging this could be to your account when you're trading with late information. So let's say, for example, you're looking at this stock, right, and the price is right, like right now the price is 220, but you're getting late information. This information is like 5 minutes late. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to buy it here, right? So when you hit buy with Robinhood or whatever broker you're with, because you're not getting live information, I noticed this happened to you before. You're like, why the hell did I just pay 230? I thought it was at 220. Why am I paying 230? And now you're saying, oh, my broker's stealing my money, or the market's against me. No, it's just that you're getting late information on your 15 on your chart that is on your broker's platform, which is like 5 minutes late. You're seeing the price of 220, but the price of the stock when I'm looking at it live is actually 230. So when you hit buy at a market price, you're buying it at 230. And another thing that's so funny that happens a lot too. So let's say you put in a limit order. A limit order is basically saying, hey, I don't want to buy the stock until it hits this point, right? Now, what happens is you'll see the stock go down and past that, and you're just like, hey, how come my order wasn't fulfilled? The order wasn't fulfilled because that order was fulfilled 5, 10 minutes ago. Your information is late, but your information is late. But when you put in that order price, that buy price, you're buying it at the current price it is. Okay. So you got to be careful of that. So if you're hearing a lot of new things for the first time, stop trading, sign up for a course, whether it's my course or another course on Udemy, and don't do it with one of these influencers. Take it from one of these professional courses. Learn what you have to learn, and then and then start trading, because it doesn't make any sense to be throwing money, because you're basically throwing money in the garbage when you start trading based off of a couple of videos that you watch on YouTube. All right. Let's see here. What else do I want to cover over here? Oh, there's no real way for you to, you know, open up a trading account as a new trader and start off with like 10,000, 20,000, $30,000. When you see those videos pop up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or anywhere else on social media, just understand that you're getting hustled and you're going to get played. Um, would you give anybody who's brand new to trading, has not proven themselves, would you give them $5,000, $10,000 to start trading because you believe in them so much, a complete stranger? No, you wouldn't. So nobody's going to give you that kind of money just because some influencer told you that they're going to do that. Okay, nobody's going to do that. Um, and if you're thinking about, oh, I'm just going to trade and I'm going to use something like eToro, where I'm just going to copy other people's trades, pay attention to eToro. With eToro, they have a small winning percentage. Not everybody has a huge winning percentage. Let's see if I can pull up eToro and get in there without necessarily signing up, because I don't actually have an account with eToro. So let's go with eToro.com. Let's go right here. So eToro. I want to show you something here. For those of you who don't know what eToro is typically where you're supposed to be able to copy other traders' trades and kind of go from there, right? So let's see here without necessarily going in there. Let's see if they'll give me access to anything. Investing, yeah, copy top investors. Let's see if here we can do something. See if they'll let us in. I just want to kind of show you guys a quick example. So let's take a look at, they give us a couple of them, but they don't give us, I'm not going to even try it. Like this person right here had a 15% return, right? These are popular investors. Look at their return ratio, right? This guy has a 94% return ratio over the past couple of years, but let's see if we can even see anything about him in detail. Is it going to give us anything about him in detail? I want to see how many trades he did to have such a high percentage ratio. All right, we'll let that load up. But in the same time, 15%, 68% over the past 2 years, 48%. So you really don't see anybody with a high percentage where they're winning like 100% of the time, or like this guy who's 94%. I'm really interested in seeing what his numbers look like. Okay, that's still loading. All right, so let's see here. How many trades did he do? Okay. All right. 96% revenue. Okay. How many people are copying his trades? How many trades did he do for the year? Okay, so I guess it's not giving me all the information because I'm not logged in. Um, but I'll probably have to create an account to see. Okay, let's take a look. 4% down. So boom, boom. Doesn't look like he's doing that many trades. Usage page score. Okay, yeah. Yep. So yeah, but this is really, really rare to see. All right, but I would actually have to see how many trades he's doing on a regular basis. Um, yeah, but you're not going to find that many people that you can actually sit there and say consistently these people are making money like that. Okay. Um, so you want to be careful. Like even if you look here for the other years, it was like what 23%, 26%, 24%. So here they, so where did the 90 something percent come out? Oh, they did a combination over the last 2 years. I see what happened here. They did a combination over the last 2 years. But for right now, this year, he's doing really good. So he's only been down 2 months. And even here, if you look at that, he's only made a 3% return, 6% return, 2% return, 6% return. So guys, the reason I'm showing you this is because I want you guys to understand something. Like when you hear these influencers talk about, oh, you can triple your money. I took, especially those videos that I see. Oh, I took $300 and turned it into $10,000. Dude, that's really not something that's feasible. Trading is something that takes up a lot of your time. It takes, and you win by making small wins. All right. I like to say, if you do the math and you say, well, if I can invest so much money and I make $100 a day, and you make that 5 days out of the week, that's $500. If you make $50 a day and you make that 5 days out of the week, that's $250 for the week. Every 2 weeks, that's $500. So for the whole month, that's an extra $1,000 that you made if you made $50 a day. So how many of us can use an extra $1,000 a day? Being realistic, right? Now, once you get out of just trading stocks and then you get into options, you can make a lot more money. But you can also make a lot more money with stocks the more money you have invested. But even if you have a 401k, why would you take $20,000, $50,000, or even get a loan for that kind of money and dump it into the stock market and not know what you're doing? It's like buying a private jet and wanting to fly it yourself. I mean, where are you going to go? You're not really going to go anywhere. You'll be lucky if you get off the ground, because you don't have the skills. You don't have the training to be a pilot. So if you don't have the skills or the training to be a trader, don't invest the money. Don't do it. Take a course, learn, whether it's my course or someone else's course on Udemy, Skillshare, or whatever the case may be. Learn it first before you start investing. And once you do it, guys, I promise you, if you have to get a second job to start funding your trading account, you're going to be excited about getting that second job, because you'll be sitting there like, I know exactly what I'm doing. There are some times when I'm going to cut this short because I'm running a little bit over, but I'll give you guys an example. There are times when I'm in trades and the trade goes against me. I'm sitting here like, okay, well, I'm going to buy it here and I'm going to sell when I'm here, and the stock goes down a little bit. But because I'm looking at my moving averages, I'm looking at my support and resistance, I'm looking at my RSI, which is down here, I know that the stock eventually is going to be going back into my direction. It's just doing a little bit more of a correction before it started to go back up. So once you're comfortable, like, you never really lose money when you're trading until you sell while you're in the loss. You never make money while you're trading unless you sell while you're in the green. So that's one of the things I've always said. Like, I very rarely lose, because I don't sell when my stock is down, because I have enough capital to do other trades and wait for the stocks that are in the red to rebound and go in the correct direction and get me back into the green or get me to where I'll break even. But if you're only working with $300 and you have that whole $300 stock in one trade, and it's going to take another week or another couple days before the stock corrects and goes back in your direction, you end up selling it and you take a loss of $150 or $50. Guess what? Now you own, you've lost money. But if you have enough capital there where you can sit there and say, well, this one's in the green, but I'm looking at it. I think it's going to come. I know it's going to come back. It's going to take some time, maybe a couple days, a week, or a month. I can wait on it for right now. I'm not going to take the loss. I have other money to invest other places. Then you can go ahead and do that. Or you can simply say, you know what? I can probably make that money that I've lost. I can make that back quickly if I just take the money out, cancel the trade, and put it into another trade that I see can be more profitable. That's it for right now. I'm not going to babble on too much, but I will say, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. I will see you guys next week because I do not normally trade on Fridays. I typically try to close out all of my trades on a Friday and take my profit. Once again, I will tell you as a brand new trader, I know I said I was going to get off get off this live, but 2 days where you want to avoid trading. On Monday, you want to avoid trading because for those of you who watch my lives, you're not a market maker if you're new to trading. Monday is where the big boys, the big investors, the market makers, the ones who are putting millions and billions of dollars into the stock market, they decide on what direction the market's going to go on a Monday. And on a Monday, you typically don't want to trade first thing in the morning. If you're not a market maker, you want to wait until about 12 o'clock. Let the market kind of decide on let the major investors decide on what direction they're going to let the market go. And then you want to start trading around that time. Friday, if you're a day trader or a short-term trader, like I'm a short-term trader, not a day trader, then like on a Friday, you want to try to be out of most of your trades because Friday is, well, if you're not going to be out of your trade, but you're going to stay in it, understand Friday typically won't be a profitable day because a lot of day traders and swing traders and short-term traders, they're getting out of those trades on Friday. So this is why sometimes you'll always notice on a Friday, your stock that you buy or the stock, not the stock market itself, but a lot of stocks, they typically, they drop, they get sell off because a lot of short-term traders, swing traders, especially day traders, we don't like to be stuck in trades over the weekend because a stock, for example, let's take a look at this one over here. Okay, so this is Thursday. Yeah. So this stock right here is a Wednesday, Thursday. Let's see if we can pull up one of them here. Let's go with something like this one. So we can I can always, I look at the big gaps here and I can always just tell, take a look at, okay, this one is showing. So take a look at this gap right here. So this is a Friday, right? So this is a Thursday, this is a Friday, and then this is a Monday, which is kind of weird. Normally these big gaps are, like this right here. This is a Friday, right? You see the Friday, the stock closed here at about $30. And then this is a Monday. So you see that big gap. So anytime I see those gaps, I typically know it's between a Friday and a Monday. So over here, you would have Friday, same thing, Friday, Monday over here. So you see if there's a big gap. Let's see if we can identify any more of these gaps here. Right here. This is a Wednesday. Okay. So Friday, it closed up at 23. Monday, it opened up at 22.50. So, so over the weekends, there's always big gaps between a Friday and a Monday. Like here, this is a Thursday, this is a Friday, this is a Monday. So Friday, it closed at 21. Monday, it opened up at 22. Yeah, so that's the last thing I'm going to say in regards to that. I'm going to get out of here. It's kind of getting dark, and I'm going to shut down the office and head home. But guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next week. If you have a chance to, like I said, go over to Udemy, sign up for any one of these courses on learning how to trade stocks. And if you are, and this is my course here. Like I said, my course is a little different. Highest rated course by Adley Telfort, Stock Trading Simple Beginner Guide. It's $99, but you do get access to me for 3 months, where you'll be able to call me on WhatsApp, message me on WhatsApp, ask me about questions in regards to stocks that you're interested in. Ask me to schedule a one-on-one training course with you after you take it, after you take the basics. Because this just the reason why this course is only 1 hour and 1.5 hours long is because I'm just teaching you the basics on how to set up your chart, teaching you the basic fundamentals. But then afterwards, the real learning happens once you're finished taking the course with me one on one, where you can ask one on one questions, or during my YouTube lives that I do typically around 8:30 with my students privately. And that one is not live. This is another really good course to take. This is a course that I've taken before, and I actually used that to set up my course. And he has a few different courses, but this is a really good one over here. These are the only two that I can recommend for right now. And if you do sign up with Udemy, typically like my courses are not discounted. They're just a flat rate. But I guarantee you guys, if you go over to Udemy and you create an account right now and you pull this up, for you, you're going to get, because the system is going to see with the algorithm to see that you're a new person to Udemy and you're just looking at this, they're going to probably offer this course to you for like $15 and $13 or $20. And guys, just because it's at a discounted rate, it doesn't necessarily mean that the course is not good. This is a phenomenal course that you can take for that cheap price. Is just that, this particular instructor, he is willing to lower his price to get more students in. You just don't get that access to him like you get access to me. Over here, his course is about 9.5 hours long. Great course. My course is a little bit shorter, but I spend more time training my students in person, or actually one-on-one live, whether it's through the phone or whether it's through YouTube. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it short there. You guys have an awesome day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can, go over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, or subscribe to me through for those of you on TikTok, you can go to my profile page. You have a link to my Udemy course, and you also have a link to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys go over there and just hit the subscribe button on YouTube, so you guys can get live feeds to my lives that I do, and also follow me as well. Awesome. Talk to you guys later.